95 Pounds of Hope, Chapter 6. My mother got her candlesticks back and I got my money. Now I can tell you, I had rolled the bills up and stuffed them into the barrel of my old Action Man gun. The leaves turned yellow and my stomach ache turned. So it was time for me to start at the new junior high. I wasn't the oldest in my class and I was far from being the worst student. I gave myself a break. I stayed at the back and avoided everyone. I gave up the idea of buying a Timberland jacket because I was sure in that place I wouldn't keep it for long. School no longer made me so sick. The reason was simple. I no longer felt like I was at a school. I felt more like I was in a sort of zoo daycare center, where 2,000 adolescents were left on their own from morning to night. I was a permanent vegetable. I was shocked at how some of the students spoke to the teachers. I made myself as inconspicuous as possible, just counting the days. In mid-October, my mother suddenly went berserk. She couldn't stand the fact that I still hadn't laid eyes on my French teacher. She also couldn't stand my vocabulary and said that every day I got worse and worse, like I was getting to be like an animal. She couldn't understand why I never brought home any grades, and one day she went hysterical when she came to pick me up and saw kids my age hanging around outside the shopping mall smoking joints. The result was a mega crisis at home. Screams, tears, and much blowing of noses. The upshot? Boarding school. After an evening of fighting, my parents had finally agreed on one thing. I was going to boarding school. Great. That night, I gritted my teeth so I wouldn't cry. The next day was Wednesday. I went to my grandparents. My grandmother had made my favorite fried potatoes, and Grandpa Leon didn't dare speak to me. The atmosphere was miserable. After coffee, we went into his hut. Grandpa put an unlit cigarette between his lips. I'm giving up smoking, he admitted. Not for me, of course. I'm doing it for that damn wife of mine. I smiled. He asked me to help him screw a pair of hinges onto a door. While I was preoccupied with the job, he started talking to me gently. Gregory? Yes. So they tell me you're going to boarding school? You don't want to? I preferred to say nothing. I didn't want to cry like a kid in third grade. Grandpa took the wooden panel from my hands and set it aside. He put his hand under my chin and turned my head toward him. Listen, Toto. Listen to me. I know more than you think I do. I know how much you hate school. And I also know what goes on at home. Well, not exactly, but I can guess. I mean with your parents. I don't suppose that every day is a barrel of laughs. I made a face. Gregory, you must trust me. I'm the one who thought of boarding school, and who planted the idea in your mother's head. Don't look at me like that. I think it would do you good to get away for a bit, to see other things. You are suffocating at home with your parents. You are their only child. They have only you, and they see life only through you. They don't see how much damage they are doing by investing absolutely everything in you. I promise you, they have no idea. Actually, I think the problem is elsewhere. If you ask me, they should start by solving their own relationship before worrying so much about you. Oh no, Gregory, don't cry. I didn't want to upset you. I just wanted you to, oh, to hell with it. I can't even take you on my lap. You're too big now. Wait, get those arms of yours out of the way. I'm going to sit on your lap. No, stop crying. It would be too bad. I'm not upset, Grandpa Leon. It's just water overflowing. Oh, my big baby, come on. It's all over. Let's push ourselves together. We have to finish this sideboard for Joseph if we want to eat for free at his restaurant. Here, pick up your screwdriver. I blew my nose in my sleeve. Then, in the silence that followed, just as I was about to start work on the second door, he added, One last thing, and I won't mention it again. What I want to say is really important. I want to tell you that if your parents argue, it isn't because of you. It's their problem, and they are the only ones to blame. You have nothing to do with it. Nothing at all, got it? And I guarantee that even if you were top of the class, if you only got A's and B's, they would still fight. They would just have to find another excuse, that's all. I didn't reply. I slapped the first coat of Bondex on Joseph's sideboard.